Welcome back to the Cutty and Govy show. Here we are, Govy and Cole. Can you hear me out there? My brother's upset with the volume of these mics. Make sure he can hear it, because when he drives and listens to the show, he can't hear it. He's been complaining the last 3 or 4 weeks in a row. So, Big Al, if you can hear us, we're talking right into the mic today. Anyway, Govy, great judge died. TV judge, Frank Capio. He was great. He was like Rhode Island.
He was the Rhode Island.
Yeah. He was great. I saw a little clip where he had this 100-year-old guy. Did you see that one where he came in? He had a traffic ticket.
I used to always watch him. I like when he would sometimes have like the person who's like that he could sentence to put in jail, and he had a little kid, and his little kid would be up there and would sit with the judge, and he says, "What should I do? Is he guilty or is he innocent?" And you hear the kid say, "He's guilty." Like, it was pretty funny.
He was great. But the thing I don't understand, I mean, he was a decent-looking guy, all the way. He died at 88. He died at the end, and he always dyed his hair,
Pancreatic cancer.
I know, but he always dyed his hair. And now, I'm watching the clips today, and they're showing him in his last 6 months of life.
I thought he looked better, but bald.
Yeah, but don't you want to remember him when he was, vibrant with his dark hair a year ago or 2 years ago?
I thought he looked pretty good, bald, actually.
Yeah, that pancreatic cancer just...
Even at 88, it's amazing. You think you could escape it. And it's like...
why do you get it so late in life? That's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, I had a friend that just died a couple years ago. I was with him...
From pancreatic cancer?
Yeah, I was with him
they
literally...
do that Whipple procedure, which is they slice you in half.
I was with him 9 hours before he died. It was...
it's just awful.
Yeah, and
just give me the pill, man.
And by the way, he was in a lot of pain, and he loved sushi. And I had to help him to the table, and his wife brought him all this sushi as his last thing. And I gave him a fork because he's so weak. And he looked at me and said, do you ever remember me using a fork? Where's the chop? Like it was still,
That's
at
funny.
the very end.
He wanted chopsticks.
It still bothered him, he wasn't going to use a fork.
Can you use chopsticks?
He uses chopsticks.
Can you?
Yeah.
You can?
Yeah, well, I'm not eating grains of rice with it.
I know, but I can't use them. I still have my fat hands. I can't.
They're okay.
You can do it?
Yeah.
So, Govy, let's talk a little Ukraine, Alaska, Donald Trump. I thought, my left side, my party is killing him for he didn't walk out of there with ceasefire. I'm giving him a pass here. I mean, he got everybody together. Good for you, Donald, whether something comes of it or not. Though I hear Vlad, bomb the shit out of the Ukraine today.
And an American company.
I mean, what's his problem? Why would he do that? I'm convinced he's psychotic. That's why he would do something that's stupid. I mean, he just came to Alaska. Now he's bombing.
But it was an American company, which is
he's
now
psychotic.
It puts Trump in a position now. Trump has almost. It's almost like I think he's baiting Trump to say, "Here's the sanctions. It's done." North Korea, I think, pulled their troops out.
So it just proves he's not interested in. I mean, if he's bombing today, a week later,
I think he is. I think that's going to be settled. Hey, look, your side, the left, right now, they didn't even want him to talk to Putin. But I don't know how they wanted peace to come about if you don't meet the guy.
I don't have a problem with him meeting the guy. Well, they're screaming he's a criminal, he's a war criminal, lock him up, he's on American soil. I mean, they're making that argument. They got to hook up with the guy and see where his head's
How are you going to solve it?
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Biden's
forget Joe Biden.
But he went 3.5. It doesn't get solved by just all of a sudden he's going to wake up one
I don't
day.
have a problem with Trump meeting the guy, and I applaud him for it. At least
I think
he gave
he's
it
close.
a shot.
I think he's closer than a lot of people think.
But why do you think, it's like Trump had those B-52s or whatever they are, that super jet flying over at the beginning of the thing to show off to Putin. Mm-hmm. It's like these billionaires saying to another billionaire, look at my new car. I mean, Putin's got all that stuff. What's he showing off with those jets flying over? I mean, it was like an idiotic move. Well, I think it was stupid.
But he likes to show. Everything he does is great. Look, he was out there with the DJ yesterday on his new Rose Garden.
Yeah, I mean, he's listening to the Rose Garden.
But he's looking to the music. I mean, he is hands-on everything. And that's how he entertains at the club, at Trump International. The guy is does the music, does everything.
Yeah.
So he choreographed that. That was what he wanted. He wanted to fly over.
Right, in the red car. I mean, they went a little over the top, don't you think?
Do you have a problem with him getting in the Beast?
That was interesting. Do I have a problem with them getting in the beat? What I thought was really interesting, like Chairman Xi and Putin, they all have like Rolls-Royce looking limousines that are made in China and Russia. So evidently, we're not exposed to any of that. Russia and China have like Rolls-Royce type cars. Do you see these cars these guys, cruising around? And then I saw YouTube on Putin's jet. You should see the inside of this guy's jet.
Right.
It's 10 times nicer than Air Force One.
But my thing is, when he got into the Beast to give him a ride.
Yeah, that was weird. Why'd he do that?
Because it's the only time they're going to be completely alone. So they can get in that thing, and I guarantee you, Trump said, I guarantee you it's the only time that there is no one else.
So Putin had some pictures of some hot-looking Russian hookers that he wanted to show Trump?
No, I think...
Look, Trump, take a look at this. Look at this one. You want this one? You want this one?
I think Trump's saying, listen, this is our only time alone. Like, are we going to get this done? Vlad, are we going to get this done? And Putin probably said, we're not going to wait. Remember, Trump said, I'll know within 5 minutes if it's going to be...
Right.
I think Vlad said, you're not wasting your time.
Well, I think that Trump... I heard him on the car right over here, and he was flabbergasted about the bombing. I'm like, really? You didn't expect this guy to do that?
I didn't. An American company?
I mean, the guy's a psychotic.
But let me ask you a question. Is there a chance that Putin didn't know that it was an American company?
No, there's no chance. He knew. Of course he knew. I mean, they don't just send bombs up in the air. They are targeted bombs.
Well, I got to tell you, with him in office, it's nonstop 4 different times during the course of a day.
Yeah, that's why you
do you know what he's doing tonight?
Well,
like, just like tonight. What do you think he's doing tonight?
He's walking in Washington, D.C. I saw that clip. He's taking a walk through Washington, D.C.
He's going on a drive-by.
A drive-by.
A drive-by with the police to see firsthand what's going on. By the way, do you know the first week that these troops are here, not one murder in D.C.? So it's working. It is working. And the people...
Of course it's working.
The people in D.C. are actually going up and are happy that he's there.
Yeah, but those people don't vote, or they don't have enough voters to make things
But the people
change.
that are protesting are liberal white women generally that are the ones protesting, saying it's our city. They don't live there.
Yeah.
Let them protest at 9 o'clock at night without any protection. See how long they're protesting.
But those pictures of the Rose Garden, I don't like a patio. I like the grass. I don't like the umbrellas. They're like the umbrellas at Mar-a-Lago. Well, you ever go to a baseball game and a guy sitting in front of you with an umbrella? Hey, do you see the game? People aren't going to be able to see the stage with the umbrellas.
Did you ever go to a wedding and they have all the fold-out chairs and you're sitting on grass?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're in a suit and everything?
Yeah.
And the women are wearing heels?
Yeah.
And it's a little...
But they give you the plastic thing for the bottom of the women's
Yeah, but what
heel.
happens when all of a sudden it's a little muddy, it's a little this?
Yeah.
He didn't want that. He wanted it to be a patio. There's plenty of room. Why not have a patio that you can have people sit?
Yeah, but what's the law? Is this guy allowed to change the White House during his 4 years and do whatever he wants? He can build a patio. It's a historic building. If I tried to go change an historic building I was working on, they'd lock me up.
Barack Obama made a basketball court.
Right.
You're allowed to do. That's why he's allowed to do a ballroom that he's paying for. They have lots of ground there that you can mix. He put the 2 flagpoles in that he paid for.
Yeah,
he's going a little crazy on the gold. I will admit the gold is a little crazy, but he's.
Let's roll back to Vlad for a minute. I'm of a conspiracy theory belief that was a body double. He either had a lot of plastic surgery or that wasn't Vlad. I think Vlad is so security conscious that he does have a body double. And they were talking that his arm wasn't swinging,
I think you're crazy.
All the conspiracy when he was walking, that's not the way Vlad walks in his arm. I don't think he put himself in a situation to A, get in Trump's car, B, come to the United States being a war criminal.
He's not worried about being blown up or anything in Trump's car, and Trump's in there. First of all, Alaska is pretty close to Russia. He can make one phone call, and you got jets over there in 6 minutes. So he's actually safer in Alaska than Trump is in Alaska.
Right.
The other thing is you got the whole world looking at this guy, and they're out there picking, you got sleuths out there, checking him out.
Let me ask you this question, Govy. Do you think that Trump would be safe in Moscow?
I don't know. They could slip. They could give him something that he gets sick 48
Well, you notice they don't drink the waters. They always put water in front of him. He never drinks it.
Right. Now, Trump can't even have vodka with the guy because he doesn't drink.
Yeah.
But I kind of told you, Putin's the guy, he's involved in every business. So I know, watches and stuff, he has an unbelievable watch collection. He's involved in the diamonds that they have in Russia. The guy, if you have he's involved in everything. He could be the wealthiest man in the world. It could be Putin.
Richer than Elon?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he controls it. By the way, he can make gold. Right now, what's gold? $3,500 an ounce?
3,600.
He can make it $2,000 an ounce tomorrow if he wanted it because he could just flood the market with gold. That's how much gold he's sitting on.
Wow. That's crazy. But why would he do that? Drive his own share prices down, if
He's a nut. He can do.
He's a nut.
I mean, when you get to a certain age, though, sometimes you got to worry. Like, he has all these weapons that you build up. It's like it's like, say you were buying like a bunch of Ferraris, and you have like 40 of them, but you don't drive them. You just, you're collecting them. You know everything. Maybe there's a certain point that you want to see what it's like. You paid all this money because it goes to 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. Well, maybe he has all these weapons. Maybe he's getting to a certain point where he's going up to Ukraine right now, and this is his last chance, and he can say, show me.
Well, I think it's over. I mean, when he bombed, when he did the bombing last night or today or whenever it was,
it's not over with Trump. I think there's going to be peace.
I don't know.
I'll bring up one thing right now. How about Hamas now? Because Trump basically gave Israel permission to turn Gaza into dust. Like we said, by the way, 3 years ago, it could be dust.
Right.
So Hamas wants to make another deal. They want to have a ceasefire.
Can you trust them?
But here's my point. If it wasn't Jews, if it was anybody else but Jews, here's what Hamas is willing to do. They're willing to release 10 living hostages and keep 10, and return some of the dead ones. They got to do a prisoner swap, a ceasefire, and everything else. Now, imagine if it was African Americans, if it was any other segment. Imagine someone saying to you, I kept these people, that they're not in prison, by the way. Like, when the basketball player Brittany Grenier was in a Russian jail, it might be bad, but she's in a jail where they're giving her food and everything. They're basically saying, I want to release 10 people, but I want to be able to still torture 10 more, because I'm going to torture them, and it's almost going on 2 years. Are you guys okay with that? How can the United States or Israel say, okay, that's a deal? How can you say, honestly, go ahead and torture the other 10, keep them in the tunnel?
They use those words, we're going to torture these people?
Well, let me ask you, they're in a tunnel.
Right.
It's 2 years. They're not giving them any food. They're not, our prisoners in jail, we're worried about Alligator Alley right now for the thing that there's a mosquito that got into the tent. These people they haven't seen daylight in almost 2 years. No food at all. There's no medical stuff.
So does America, or do the Americans have the right to say which 10 come out? Or it's a random 10?
It's a random 10, and I think that Trump's approach is, you got to go in with, like, they're all dead. Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
There is no more onesie, twosies. I mean, how are you allowed to accept? How can you accept 10 are still going to be left behind?
Israel has always been, whatever we can get. You look, they've traded hundreds of people for 2 people. I mean, Israel.
But look what they just did, though. They went up to the West Bank. And they're taking over the West Bank.
Yeah, well, they've had it.
They're done now. This is it.
It's too long. It's a mess.
They're going to take the whole thing.
Yeah, well, they should.
Right.
I mean, look, they certainly, obviously, if it was my child, I would want them to do everything. But I think Israel's had it. They gave them 2 years to do it, and it's done. It's a shame.
By the way, Trump has solved, 6 conflicts?
Right.
In 6 months or
You're
7?
You're really high on Trump.
What's that?
You're really high on
Well,
Trump.
these 2 he hasn't done yet. He still has to do Ukraine.
I wish Melania liked them as much as you.
Well, let me ask you this question. You talk about a guy's personality to bother Trump. If you really wanted to bother him, one way to get to him is, could you imagine if the Nobel Peace Prize went to Steve Witkoff?
It can't.
If it did, would that... Why? Steve Witkoff is involved in all of these things.
Because...
It would bother Trump?
Oh, my God, it would drive him insane.
If Steve Witkoff got the Nobel Peace Prize, I mean, would that not bother Donald Trump?
Yeah, that would drive him nuts.
So why wouldn't they do that?
Because I don't think Steve Witkoff's profile is big enough.
He's met with Putin several times.
I know, but you know that. I know that. But people that don't study as hard as we do.
They gave Barack Obama the Nobel Peace Prize 6 months into office.
Barack Obama.
Well, I'm just trying to say, they want to bother him. If you want to bother Donald Trump, I mean, look, they tried to put him in jail 42 million times. They tried to do everything. They want to bother him. They raided Mar-a-Lago to bother him. I mean, why not just give the Nobel Peace Prize to Steve Witkoff?
They could, but you're saying that it's a conspiracy
Would
theory.
he fire Steve Witkoff if he got the Nobel Peace Prize?
Yeah, he would. You're saying it's a conspiracy theory. The Nobel Peace Prize is, very political.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll see. We'll talk about that, Gavi. I mean, yeah.
I mean, if you want to bother the guy, bother him. Just go up to him and say, Steve, you were great. You were fantastic. Oh,
I think Trump's smart enough. If he has a hunch or somebody whispers in his ear, it's coming down the road, he's going to get rid of him long before it will.
that would ruin his whole golf game.
Yeah.
It would ruin
Hey,
everything.
he's going to get rid of him in advance of it really happening.
Right.
And then he'll bury him like Jerome Powell. If this Jerome Powell doesn't at least throw a quarter of a point on the table, I mean, this guy's going to lose his shit. I mean, if he doesn't throw a quarter of a point, folks, won't do anything. Zero, nothing, zip. And if this guy, Jerome Powell, didn't get the memo to put a quarter of a point on the table, he's a fool.
Let me ask you, do you remember when the Attorney General Garland, his last day in office, he walked out and everybody lined up on both sides and they applauded him?
Yeah.
Jerome Powell, when he leaves, since he's building his $2 million, he's a big deadhead. He should play the song like Going Down the Road, Feeling Bad.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to come up with some music going down, like something like that,
I mean, if he doesn't throw a quarter of a point out there, I need to go talk to the guy and figure out what's in his brain. He should sit down with Putin. I mean, if he really wants to take an abuse and not take that quarter of a point down.
It's taking the quarter point, and that's coming up.
That's coming. Anyway, talk about Letitia James. That was an unbelievable decision today. Trump's $500 million fine thrown out.
Right.
That's pretty crazy.
But that Ergon, the judge, I mean, just his face bothers me.
I know, a Jewish guy, my tribe.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, she ran on this. I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, it was like people are finally feeling like there's a little justice there. And then, don't forget, she did worse.
Well, from listening to Mark Levin on the way over, they didn't let him off completely.
Not yet, but he can. They can still
Yeah,
overturn
they got
it.
rid of the fine, which kind of means he should be let off.
$500 million.
Yeah, but he's still convicted on fraud, business fraud, for doing fraudulent things in his business. And I don't know what they were,
They're still working to overturn that because they're basically saying...
But how can you have fraud if the banks got paid in full, they were never in default, there was never a problem? Where's the fraud?
Well, that's what they're saying. They're also saying that Jonathan Turley, that was also basically saying that, you're allowed to sell your property for anything you want. Now, these laws are to protect the people that don't have the means. But if a bank is involved, they have people to check to see, is it worth it or not?
No, but follow me here. I'm borrowing money against an asset that has to generate enough money to pay it back and pay the interest every month. Fraud would be if I stated my properties were worth X and that was fraudulent because they could never justify the value to pay it back or pay the interest on it. And he did both.
Right.
He paid it back and he paid the interest
and
on
they're
it.
happy. They were happy with him. And
So that's not fraud.
Right.
I don't know where there's fraud.
The fraud was that he said that Mar-a-Lago at
How's
first...
that fraud?
He claimed that at one time for taxes, maybe he claimed it was...
Yeah,
By the way,
does that.
Everybody does that. Like,
Everybody.
if someone said to you...
You do it with insurance, too.
Right, why would you not? You
Yeah.
know, like that's what you got to value your property low when it comes to benefit you that way, and you raise it the other way.
Let's talk about insurance. Govy now has a flood from the apartment above him, 7th time, folks. Now, he lives in the nicest condominium building in Boca. But that's interesting, condo law. I mean, you're stacked in there, although he has a fabulous place. He does have somebody over him. And it's an elderly woman, and she keeps flooding her whatever, sinks or toilets or tubs, everything.
Anything with the hole.
7 floods. It's not fair. Right. Now his fabulous new kitchen is destroyed. And, what can you do about it?
You don't really have a lot. You really can't.
Why can't the condominium association evict that woman? Say, look, you're 82. You can't live on your own.
It's not for the board. I'm telling you, I'm really just...
I have to study condo law. If somebody is not able to take care of themselves properly, where...
You need a judge. And a lot of judges do not want to, basically go up to someone and force them to leave.
Well, I get it if she lives in her own single-family house, but her lifestyle affects the other people in the building. I'm sure when it drips from your unit to the unit below...
And then one below me, too.
So are you responsible or is she still responsible?
She's responsible.
If it drips from her unit to your unit and then the flood goes from your unit to the unit below you, are you responsible for the unit below you?
No.
It goes all the way back
now,
up to her.
I did. My insurance has paid twice.
Oh, your insurance did.
Because I went through them. But now I don't want to go through them anymore. Like, I'm going to go, and the building actually is insured, and the building's been paying. If the people in our building knew that they're actually paying for a lot of her stuff, I mean, they would go crazy. But
I can't believe there's not condo law that protects you. Or
quality of life.
Protects the building. If a woman's 82 and she can't take care of herself, you can't have her in that building.
The last 3 times I was out for 8 weeks.
Wow.
Every 9 months. So I can't even go a year without there's something coming down. We have water sensors that the building put in mainly because of her. So on every sink and every place in the thing. But anyway, that's just my deal that I have to live with. How about a 72-year-old guy in Robert F. Kennedy and Pete Hegseth having a contest, a fitness contest, 50 pull-ups, 50 push-ups.
Could you do a pull-up?
In 5 minutes.
I couldn't do one, and I'm in fantastic shape. I'm a muscle man.
I
Besides
could
a
probably do one.
podcast superstar. What?
I could probably do one.
I couldn't do one. I mean, I go to the gym every day. There's no way I could do one.
I could probably do one. The first one, you know.
I mean, you're talking about a pull-up's got to be above you, and you have to pull your entire body.
Probably one. I could
Really?
probably do one.
Wow, that's pretty good. I couldn't.
Just one. I mean, but the 50
That's amazing, isn't it?
the 50 push-ups.
I could do 20 push-ups.
But they want you to do it in
25.
5 minutes.
I could do it in 5 minutes.
How many
I could do 20 stop, do 20 more stop.
Yeah.
I have 5 minutes to do 50.
And 50 pull-ups.
I'll do it after the show.
And
Bet money.
No, 50 pull-ups.
I can't do 50. I can't do one pull-up.
Okay, but my point is then you don't get 5 minutes for that.
Oh, I have 5 minutes to do both?
both.
Oh, I couldn't do it in 5. I could do 50 push-ups in 5 minutes.
Right, I'm saying you have to do
No,
both.
I can't do it.
That's the thing that's crazy. Think about the strength it takes to do
Oh
a
my God.
pull-up. To do a pull-up, the strength. Now you're weak. Now now your arms are burning, and you're going to get on the ground and do 50?
Push-ups really aren't that hard, but the pull-ups are hard. But how about the guy who wears jeans? What's with the jeans? Doesn't he own a pair of like Lululemon shorts to work out in like every other person does?
Well, let me ask you a question. When you wear
Ask me too.
okay, when you wear a pair of jeans, what do you think
I'm wearing them now. I can't breathe in
the
them.
average person though, when they wear jeans, when do they put it in the wash?
Okay, you're asking about
I
my
know it's a
hygiene. I'm going to lie on the show because you're asking me a hygiene question.
What do you think the average person does?
I would lie on the show and say every second wearing, but it's probably every third wearing.
I bet you that the average person you seeing wearing jeans, men, I'm not going to say women, men, I bet you got some construction guys that can go 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
I'm going to disagree with you because I don't have any jeans anymore that are dry cleaned. I'm out of that.
In the washing machine.
So I use the washing machine, and the jeans definitely get cleaned more often because they go in the wash, as opposed to schlepping them to a dry cleaner.
You know why you put them in there? Because now all these jeans have that little elasticity.
Yeah.
So when you use, people didn't like them.
What are these called that we wear?
Mugsies.
Mugsies. We wear Mugsy, folks.
But but the old jeans, they always had a little shrinkage like after the thing, and no one wanted to put them back on because it would break it in.
Right.
That was the reason why people didn't want to do it. So now this guy says he wears his jeans and he goes on a hike every morning, and after the hike, he then works out, and he likes to wear the jeans on the hike.
So how many pair of jeans do you have, Govy? That you realistically wear? Don't tell me about your whole closet. 4. Yeah, I'm the same as you. So I have 3 or 4 or 5. Man, let's round it out to 5. I mean, so if this guy has 5 pair of jeans, yeah, he's probably going 2, 3, 4 wearings.
But so what? The guy's working out in them.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. You're sitting here you're doing a podcast.
Right.
This guy's working out in it.
Gross.
It's like, I mean, this is the guy. By the way, he's also the HH. I mean, this is like the health guy. I mean, it is a little gross, isn't it?
Cheryl Hines, maybe you should leave this guy. He's a little gross.
By the way, if he wants to take a hike, he doesn't have like a pair of like Allbirds or some type of short or.
Yeah, by the way, Lululemon are $35 a pair. I mean, it's not a lot of money, RFK Jr.
They would send it to him just because he would be wearing it. I mean, it's kind of.
Where's he hike? In Washington, D.C.?
I don't know. But by the way, his wife's moved in, so she's in Washington.
She's in Washington. But I understand where he lives in California, wherever he lives out there. You're walking around in the woods, and there's thorns, and there's animals.
Massachusetts or
Massachusetts. But if he's in Washington, D.C., why does he need jeans? And it's 102 degrees in the summer. You're walking around in jeans.
Well, he's traveling. He's in he goes to all these different cities.
Right.
He has a nice little jet right now. That's
HHS jet.
Yeah, and then you have but meanwhile, when Trump was in his place, and they're all there. You don't think it's pretty great that all the world leaders sat in the Oval Office Like, that's the first time in my lifetime that a non-NATO meeting, G7 meeting, G8 meeting, that the world leaders, in a drop of a dime, they like came to the Oval Office, and then afterwards he goes into the little room, and this little room was Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky's little oral sex room. You had Joe Biden; it was his nap room, he said, and this guy turns it into a gift store. Like, literally, from hand towels to golf hats to everything. Isn't it kind of crazy that he's giving world leaders hats that say 4 more years, 2028 Trump? I mean, crazy stuff, and they're all taking it.
He's having fun.
He is having fun.
But I think he's having an affair with the Italian prime minister. Yeah, they
you
were flirting. They were flirting like crazy.
You always like the National Enquirer. Now I know why.
I think the two of them were having an affair.
She rolled her eyes at the German chancellor.
Flirting,
At the German chancellor.
Said he was handsome or something, right?
The German chancellor.
Yeah.
Yeah, something.
Yeah. But, I mean, I think the world leaders were impressed by all the gold in the White House Oval Office. I mean, it's impressive, Govy, don't you think?
Yeah, you got to like that style. They had, whatchamacallit today outside the guy Comer. He's in charge of doing this investigation. So, everybody was taking the fifth for a while on the Biden situation. So today he interviewed Ian Sams. That was the right-hand person for Biden. How about today he shocked everybody and said he only talked to Joe Biden twice in 2.5 years.
Who, the right-hand person?
Yeah. So when he got up in front of with KGP, and he would sometimes come out there, and he said to everybody that guy Orr is off and Joe Biden is sharp as a tack. All these things he said was a lie, because today he was under oath. And he said...
He didn't take the fifth?
No.
Like all the other guys did?
And under oath today, he said all those things weren't true.
Now, do you think KGP is in his office all the time? She has real FaceTime with him? Like this press secretary now. I always assumed they were sitting in the Oval Office all the time.
I don't think...
How could they be so knowledgeable on every single fact?
I think they were being told what was going on, because I don't think Biden was running the country. Right. So someone else was telling KGP what's going on. It certainly wasn't Joe Biden. Where Trump's press secretary is in that room with him.
So if they get Hunter Biden in there because he has a pardon, would he have? And they ask him these cognitive questions. Would he have to say the truth? I mean, could he lie?
I think he has to tell the truth
even though it's not an issue he was pardoned for.
Well, Schiff is going to have to give some stories. But KGP, I think, is going to shock everybody, because she has this book coming out.
Yeah.
And once this Ian Sams contradicted
she could make a lot of money.
Yeah, but now that he contradicted all the stuff he said, that he got up there and lied, KGP has to sit there right now tonight saying, whoa, this is like the cards are starting to roll. Like, she's going to tap, she's under oath now. What happens if she says, I didn't talk to Joe Biden?
Wow, that would be a bombshell.
This Sam's never even traveled with him. Could you imagine Trump traveling on Air Force One?
Well, he's a different character. It's a whole different deal. But yeah, I mean, if KGP says she didn't even talk to him,
They said that in the last 10 days, last week in office, he pardoned 2,500 people. And now they're trying to say, who was it? Who ran if he was in the presidency, if he's in the White House and you're going to pardon someone, isn't it easier, this is what they were saying today, isn't it easier just to have Joe Biden sign his name than to get the auto pen thing going, get a person that has to approve it, get a person on top of that person? I mean, there's a lot of, layers.
Yeah. I'm not qualified to answer that, but I'll ask you this question. KGP will never get a job. I mean, nobody liked her or whatever, and she has no credibility. Now, if you have an opportunity to blow the whistle on the guy in this book and make $50 million, because it'll be a killer book. If the book is dishing all the real dirt, would you do it? I mean, she's not going to get a real job. She's not going to be making $15 million.
Well, she's not going to be Jen Psaki and MSNBC. It's gone now, and they're not going to give her money. So her platform is over.
It's over unless she writes a tell-all, real tell-all, on fire book, crazy.
She should.
She should.
She should.
I'm recommending to you. Let me be your agent here. I'll be your consultant. You should write this book and tell all, baby.
Well, here's the thing. She declared that she's no longer a Democrat.
Yeah, she's an independent.
She's an independent. So now,
think she's going to run for office?
No, but if you now spill the beans and you're an independent,
That's a good point.
There will be a lot of Republicans out there that will like her. A lot of Democrats that want to switch will like her, and that's the one way she can get some credibility and maybe be on TV. Because now,
Excellent point,
because now
Gabby.
that she should spill. What? Who's
I
she
would like
protecting?
her if she did that.
And who's she protecting now?
I would like her. I'm on that side, and I don't like what happened. I'm not happy about it. And if she came out and said, I had to lie to keep my job, and I had to bullshit America, nobody died over it. It was just all about his cognitive ability, whatever. I don't know. I wouldn't like the outcome, but I would be okay with hearing the truth.
Well, I'll tell you who would like her. There's a lot of Democrats right now that do not like the way the party is going because
Yeah.
it's going way to the left. Like, so you're Bill Maher's of the world.
Who's that freak, the newscaster, Fazad or whatever?
Yeah.
He bashing him.
A lot of them are bashing. A lot of them are sitting there. I mean, you get to see the one girl that's the anchor on CNN made some stupid comments with Trump, and what Joy Reid just went on. She blamed everything on white people. I mean, like you talk about a racist. They're basically said to her parents came from like Guyana and somewhere in another African nation. They came to white America and went to Iowa. She was raised in Iowa.
Yeah.
You can't get any whiter of a state than Iowa, and she went to Harvard.
Right.
And she's saying that not one white person ever built everything, made anything, did anything. But
Yeah,
she was giving you the news at 9 o'clock at night on MSNBC. I mean,
Right.
she wasn't like,
But rolling back to the leaders in the Oval Office, can you imagine being head of the Secret Service? Now, you have this trip planned for Alaska. That's got to be a nightmare for the Secret Service. Imagine all the pre-planning. This guy's been shot twice, maybe 3 times. And all the pre-planning has to be for him in Alaska. And then Trump is on the plane, and he's getting off the plane, and he turns around and he says, we're having a summit in the White House Secret Service. You're going to have to protect the leaders of the free world, in a week.
it's unbelievable.
Can you imagine what the Secret Service is going through?
How about
It's insane.
knowing that he was assassinated twice?
You have
Attempted assassination.
you have Zelensky, who's the most hated man on earth. You got to protect him. You have the leader of, all the other countries have their Secret Service that you have to coordinate with. It's got to be crazy. Transportation.
Yeah, you have whatchamacallit? You have Macron, who had to come out and defend his wife because Kenneth or Owens
Right.
is calling her that she's a man.
So how do you think Zelensky gets there? He has his own, does he? I mean, he's on the dole. He's begging for money. Does he have his own presidential jet, or how's he get there?
I think
Does
he
he
has.
fly
I think he
commercial?
has a jet. No, I think he has a jet that. Listen, they were stealing billions. We were given billions.
Right, but does he charter like a commercial plane, or he has a jet?
I think he has a jet.
Wow, that's crazy.
And I think he has Air Force that are like riding shotgun with him.
they got to be riding shotgun because Putin could just bomb him
Yeah,
right out
he's
of the
doing that.
sky.
I have something for you. How about right now with Governor Newsom? They literally there was a really horrific accident in Florida recently on 995 by Fort Pierce, just above Palm Beach.
When did this happen?
This happened like 5 days ago.
Okay.
And it was a guy that was an illegal immigrant that got a commercial trucking license. And he
did the U-turn or something?
did the U-turn, killed 3 people because he did it
Right.
where they had no choice. He failed. He was only able to answer 2 out of 10 questions. He can't speak English or read English. They still gave him. Someone still said, "Here's a commercial driver's license that you could drive a tractor trailer." The state of Florida does not recognize illegals with a license. He crossed state lines, came here, did this, knowing he can't read. Now, think about this. You're now driving a tractor trailer, and you ever see the signs that say bridge,
Yeah.
13 feet, 6 ounces? If he can't read low bridge ahead, isn't that kind of dangerous that a guy's driving?
So, but what's your point?
My point is they sent him back. He went back to California to think it's sanctuary. They then extradited him to Florida today, and it looks like he could be serving life.
He should. He should serve life.
But they're also want Newsom to say that they should be responsible. These are the people you're protecting and giving licenses to. How many other people have licenses that aren't qualified that are driving the roads of tractor trailers?
I stopped into our sponsor, Just the Mail, today,
Okay.
and there was a Spanish-speaking, I don't know where they were from, couple that were sending a package, and they couldn't communicate to the clerk at the store their phone number in English. They couldn't even say numbers in English of their phone number.
Were they able to use their phone like a
No, they had the phone with the where you can talk into your phone and it communicates so they keep talking into their phone, their Spanish or whatever language they.
What did the clerk do? What did
they were very, it took forever for them to send a little package there.
Could you imagine standing behind in line? And you just
Oh my God, there was a line too.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so I agree with you. The guy can't read low bridge, doesn't understand 13 feet 6 inches. If these people couldn't tell a telephone number, that guy, I always thought like Spanish numbers were, I flunked Spanish in high school. I thought Spanish numbers were the same as ours, aren't they? They must have been somewhere besides like Cuba or something. I don't know.
Well, it depends if it's, not right.
Yeah, like I understand like
Uno, dos,
Arabic.
yeah.
I don't know.
How about the story in Virginia coming out that the billionaire son of the founder of AMG Bowling, is they hired a nanny. She was a University of Virginia student. This guy's father is one of the trustees of University of Virginia. He liked her. They have 3 kids. Liked her. Then decides to tell his wife, "I'm going to hire her to work for my company." The wife lets him hire the nanny to go to his company. Within a couple months, he promotes her to vice president.
What's the age difference?
For like 22
Oh,
years.
he was a lot older. Okay, go ahead.
Like he's in his 40s and she's 21 years old.
Wow.
She's just
Yeah.
okay. And he makes her vice president of his company.
Oh my God, of that giant AMG bowling
Of
thing?
whatever businesses he's in, vice president. And that was his father's company. But he has his other things that he does. And he's into sports cars and everything. Then he leaves his wife for the nanny.
He leaves her.
And offered the wife $75 million. She has 2 housekeepers and a nanny now, a new nanny. And she turned it down, but she has a prenup, and it turns out it looks like he's going to win this thing. He's saying all the things that she's not that great. But this is a situation where you got to feel for the wife that this other nanny stole her life now. It's like all
How do you know she wasn't complicit in that? That she was not mean, or she, caused him to like run towards the nanny?
Well,
I'm not saying
but
that's
what I mean
the
by
right thing to
stealing your
do.
life is here's this nanny.
Yeah.
She gets hired to take care of this couple's 3 kids.
Right.
Instead, she's now going to be the stepmom.
Well, she's taking care of 4.
Right.
The husband and the 3 kids.
But now she's reversed. She's now the person that's going to be married to the billionaire. She's going to be the stepmom. The real mom is now on the outside, not to say she's going to live bad, but they've switched lives. It's like the nanny is now took the other person's life.
Right. My daughter has an expression, how you get them is how you lose them. And this nanny's going to find out in a couple of years,
Right.
She's going to pump out a couple kids.
Right.
And then this guy's going to start cheating on her.
It's prenup and whatever.
Yeah,
right.
and then she's going to lose her life.
Like Marla Maples in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you got to feel bad for the woman. The cushion is she gets 75 big ones, and, she's 75 rocks, and she's going to be living in the mansion, and she's going to have her own new nanny, But she'll get a guy. I'm not feeling too bad for her.
But let me ask you, honestly.
Ask me 2 questions.
I know, but honestly, when you hire a nanny and she's working with you, and within a year, the husband says, "I think I'm going to hire her for my business." Do you have like a little
suspicion?
I mean, I would think most women would say no.
Yeah, but
they would say,
maybe
keep
it
it
sounds. I don't know anything about the story, but it sounds like the guy's company is so huge that I would rather have the nanny out of my house where she's not around my husband, and she's at his giant company where maybe she won't see him anymore.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
You mean like there's business trips now and she's going out and the husband's on the thing?
But I don't know. Does he have 10,000 employees? Where's she working in the company?
No, but let's put it this way. He walked out on his wife on Christmas Day, supposedly.
Did he?
Yeah.
You're an asshole. That wasn't nice.
And took the nanny to the Four Seasons in Surfside.
Oh, God.
So, I mean, the nanny's like kind of rubbing it in.
Yeah, but I'm reading a little deeper into that,
He wasn't happy, let's face it.
No, but a lot of times, I hear from these guys that have these affairs, the toughest days are Christmas, New Year's, where you're saying, oh, I love you, but you go back to your wife on those holidays and, so the fact that he left her on Christmas, now that you're telling the story, she was pressuring him. I'm sick and tired of this. You keep telling me you're going to leave her, blah, blah, blah. It's another Christmas. I'm alone. you know?
And that's when he came out and said, if you think that it just happened,
Yeah.
like he says, it didn't just happen.
Right.
It was building up for, he hasn't been, obviously, he
Right.
wasn't happy for years.
Yeah, right. How long was he married? I mean, if he has 3 kids and
So
he's...
like, I think they're all like under like 6.
And I wonder how old the wife is. Doesn't sound like she was too old.
She's like a psychiatrist. She's like
She wasn't doing a good job figuring the guy out.
No, she really wasn't.
Usually the psychiatrists, if any of you guys are listening, the psychiatrists, I've certainly been to a few. Well, they're whacked out as can be to begin with.
Oh, yeah, but you know what's crazy? How do you go to her and saying, listen, I got a problem, and you're the one that can help me? Right. I mean, she can't help herself. How's she going to help someone else?
Well, so she's trained. Do you think she knew that she had a problem, or she just ignored it?
I would think most women have this sixth sense hunch that when the guy's moving out, that they're finding out, they're making a phone call. I know you're going out of town tonight. Did the nanny go like the vice president now? Right. I mean, they're hand in hand. Once they're having dinners together.
Oh, that might be another thing that was happening. You know, she couldn't. If he would go out of town, she'd be stuck at home with the kids, and that's why he moved her to the company. I get it.
No,
okay, I'm figuring.
Right, I
didn't know anything about the story.
Right, he needed her out of the house,
right,
to be able to, so they
do
can
the
go
trips,
so they can hotel rooms,
right,
all the stuff.
That'd be a little odd if he took off on a business trip and the nanny said, "Can I get 3 days off?"
Right. I mean, come on. I mean, like this woman, like she's a psychiatrist. She has to start seeing this, don't you think?
All right,
I mean, men aren't that complicated.
No, that sounds like a good one. Govy, well, we're starting football. It's kind of a lot of fun watching the football come back. Baseball's roaring to the end.
I have
love this time of year for baseball.
I have one problem with the NFL. I really do. They haven't gotten the memo yet that woke is dead. So they have in Minnesota, they have these cheerleaders now. Well, a lot of teams have them in the league. These male cheerleaders.
Well, it's Tim Waltz's city.
Yeah, but they said today these cheerleaders aren't just like men cheerleaders like you see in college that pick up a girl and spin them around like these are flaming gay cheerleaders.
You have a problem with that, Govy?
Watching them do a dance in tights. Watching. They even had people on TV to say, "Come, what football? You got to know your audience.
Right.
Do you really think of guys in the stands with 9 beers in their system wants to see some guy in his Lulu?
You have Swifties now in the stands. Taylor Swift.
But you don't want to see these guys do this like some guy doing the pom pom with the. I mean, it's enough already.
And
then they have also, by the way, behind the end zone. They're saying, and it's with end racism. So all the NFL teams,
what are they going back
and the racism again. How about do something with anti-Semitic? Like let's do away with put a blue star, a blue dot there. How about something for the Jews that they're going through? Since you have all these Jewish owners,
I'll tell you why. Because all the Jewish owners are so rich now. I'm intrigued. The Eagles are worth almost $9 billion.
Yeah,
the guy bought the team for $200 million. What, 1999 or 8 or whatever?
Crazy, isn't it?
So it's worth $9 billion. He's worth $9 billion, and all he's done is own a team. And just like went crazy.
He got to live on all the perks of everything you get.
Well, how about it made money every year?
Right.
It made a lot of money.
Well, you know what's great? Those things generate so much money, these teams,
right?
That for the playoffs, your team might not even make the playoffs. But if it gets close, you have to buy your playoff tickets for the year. And if not, they take that money, the playoff money,
apply it to the next year.
But when they send you your tickets, you get this shipping and handling fee of like $100. That's literally a person taking the tickets, putting it in an envelope, and you take 40,000, I mean, that's just money.
I'm going to...
They're printing money.
Nah, I'm going to disagree. I'm going to take the other side of this, Govy. Those tickets are like currency. They're worth a lot of money. So the handling person has to do a good job. They can't mess that up. A ticket's worth, what, $5,000 for a playoff game?
Yeah, well, you're buying 4 games because
though that's a lot of money. You know, you have to make sure that it's a secure environment, that there's security.
How much is he charging on the handling?
It's probably...
he didn't hire a new employee for it. They already have an existing employee.
Right, but they got to track it. They got to double check it. I don't know.
It's just money.
Yeah, it's just money. All right, Govy, what a fiery show today. Next week, we're going to hear if you got a big insurance check for your condo. If you move back, you're going to move back into it, you're moving out. Govy's moving out again. And we'll see what happens. He's going to have to deal with this mess again. What a mess. All right, folks.
We'll see ya.
Al, I hope you can hear us loud and clear. We tried to talk right into these mics today. Talk to you later. See you,
See ya.
Govy.